Hi everyone, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel Merchant Navy Decoded. This is my first attempt to cover a case study on an incident which was an unfortunate one with a maritime expert who has handled numerous case studies on such incidents. As we all know, as seafarers, that recently in US a big incident happened, unfortunate incident where six people lost their lives and a big bridge in Baltimore collapsed when motor vessel, a container ship MV Dali collided with the bridge. So now we have got Captain Shyam Paliwal over here, and welcome, sir. Welcome over here.
Hi, Brain. Hi, nice to talk to you.
Okay, sir. The five questions I would love to let our viewers know those questions. First is what actually happened that this incident occurred. Second would be what do you think could have gone wrong that this incident occurred. Third would be any message for the crew on board ship because this is going to be the toughest time for them, especially chief engineer, captain. Or any tips for them that you can share because I would definitely feel that this video would reach out to them. So any tips that you can share with them. Fourth is what implications can crew have because of this incident. Fifth is what implications would the manning company have to bear or the chartering company have to bear or the ship owners have to bear or who would bear this cost. How does this process follow and how does it go like? So thank you, sir. So let's start with the first question, and that is what actually happened so that day.
Okay. So, I have sailed on the largest LNG ship in the world, many years ago. So my ship was 345 meters long. So you see that this Dali, I have downloaded their class status report from the internet, and I can see that their class is NK. And first, I must state that all the information that is available to me is from the open sources. I'm not involved in any investigation or directly involved with this. So I just downloaded the ship particulars and the class status from the internet. I see that the vessel is like a 299, almost 300-meter long, and almost 10,000 TEU, 9971 TEU. So quite a big vessel, a mid-size container vessel. A few years ago it would be a very large container vessel, but these days, even 24,000 TEU vessels are there. So I feel that when the ship was coming out of the Baltimore port and was about to pass below the bridge, so it was we could see that the lights went off, so there was a total blackout. And then immediately after blackout, I think the emergency generator came online, and but somehow it was not able to provide steering power to the steering gear of the vessel, because even with the 8 knot speed, even if you lost the propeller, if you can maintain some steerage with the rudder, it's still possible. So I think they lost the steering and the propulsion together. So then we can see that in the video that the lights came back on, and then suddenly some black smoke came out of the funnel, and then there was a complete blackout again. So then the ship had like no chance. It was just dead in the water. There was hardly anything the two pilots on board or the master could do. They even dropped the anchor, but the speed at 8 knots, you drop anchor, you cannot stop in time, and you could not avoid because you had no steering. If there was some steering, then there was still some chance to avoid hitting that key structure of the bridge, which eventually brought the bridge down.
Sir, very well pointed out, sir. As a chief engineer, I would like to add my 2 cents to it. Generally, during such a maneuvering, two generators are running and the third generator is standby. Say, due to any incident whatsoever, if any of the generators or both the generators offload or they stop, the first thing is that the third generator, which is standby generator, that comes on, that starts and comes on load. Due to some reason, if it is unable to start or come on load, then in that case, there's a complete blackout, and after 45 seconds, the emergency generator starts. So the first thing is for sure that the all three generators could not start. Maybe the reason could have been bad fuel or something which we do not know about it. And we also know, and we also do not know what kind of fuel we were using. Generally in US, again, a statement from my end, I'm not very sure, but I have personally faced a lot of issues with the fuel that was produced in US, and when we used, there was a lot of problem with purifiers. So if fuel is the reason, that is something else. But even if fuel is not the reason, then what could have been the reasons? That is something. Emergency generator started, but steering did not come. So that is another challenge. Any other thing that comes to your mind would have led to such reason, such incidents, sir?
Blackouts are common on commercial ships, and we have to do something about this failure mode and effect analysis, which is very common in the DP vessels. Dynamic position vessels, they cannot afford a blackout. So they always have this kind of failure mode and effect analysis, and they have so much redundancy built into the system that there is a no blackout. So now, we have to think about, with the large container ships, we have to take it as a serious incident. And it was just that if that blackout happened after the vessel had already passed the bridge, then this would not have happened. So it was just like a perfect alignment of those holes in the cheese, which led to this catastrophic failure. Because this is very low probability incident that the blackout will happen at exactly the time when the ship was supposed to pass below the bridge. So the blackout happened at exactly the wrong moment, which led to such a serious incident. So, the holes aligning in the cheese. So, if it had happened, when the vessel was at sea, or if it had happened, when the vessel was out of the port, I mean, if it had happened, like, let's say, 5 minutes later, then maybe the vessel would have run aground like that the vessel which ran aground in the same port. It was a ever vessel. So ever like Evergreen ran aground in the Suez Canal, or Ever Forward ran aground in the same port. So I mean, if that had happened, then it would just be a minor incident of a vessel running aground. But now it happened at exactly the time when it was supposed to pass below the bridge, and then it hit, and then it collided with a structure, and unfortunately there were no barriers or fenders uh, uh, besides that pillar, that structure, which could have prevented or which could have stopped the vessel from colliding with that critical structure of the bridge which brought it down. So I think the newly built bridges, they have this kind of fenders and concrete rings along this kind of critical structure, which will not allow a vessel to hit them or had a collision with them. So unfortunately, the bridge did not have enough safety barriers or fenders around it to prevent a vessel from colliding with it. The vessel had a blackout at a very wrong and critical time. So when all these things aligned, it led to a catastrophic failure of the bridge.
So when see, I have been a chief and you've been a captain, you might have seen a lot of blackouts happening, and so have I seen. Whenever a blackout happens, and if it has happens at the wrong time, serious incidents can happen. Now my question is, now when this thing has happened, even president of the US has praised the seafarers, everything has happened, things are light. But do you think that somebody is going to be blamed for this? And if yes, then hopefully not seafarers. Or what is your take on this?
See, I mean, you would remember that Costco Busan collided with had a similar incident in US, and after that the entire company was placed under a strict inspection regime. So something similar will happen to this company, which is which is manager of the company. So normally in this kind of case, obviously the seafarers will have to stay on board, or they might be, under investigation by the NTSB, which is National Transportation Safety Board in the US, and Coast Guard will also do the investigation. So they have to stay there in US for a while to, cooperate with the investigators. So my message to them will be just to be honest and, put your views and not to hide anything, not to make any fake entries. Just be honest, and the people, they appreciate honesty and integrity. So I think it's very, very important to just stay honest and not take too much stress.
Sir, I remember that this incident happened years back. I have also interviewed Captain Pradeep Chawla. That incident which happened in Korea, when that Samsung barge hit the VLCC, and those two seafarers were in jail for 10 months in Korea.
Yes, I was in Korea at that time. I also uh, you know uh, you know had some little bit. I sent emails to the Indian embassy. That was all my role in helping them. Other than that, I didn't do much. It happened in 2007, in that oil spill. So, you know, I mean, this all is, you have to follow the rule of the law. You have to just cooperate with the investigators and give your side of the story.
Sir, at one side we have got a manning company. They might be kept at a strict regime. At one side we have got big chartering company. I do not know what kind of implications they will have. At one side we have got a ship owner. We really do not know how much is he going to pay. Or it's the P and I club that is going to pay for everything. And do you have any? Can you share your views on this thing? Like, what would be the implication on the ship managing company, the charterers, the ship owners, or the P and I club?
Basically, the vessel is fully covered by the P&I clubs. So in the P&I, it's covered by the Britannia P&I club. So normally in the insurance world, the one club does not bear all the cost. So they spread the risk. So they spread the risk to all the P&I clubs, and they take the responsibility. And then they sell this insurance policy to reinsurers. So there are a lot of insurance companies that take over this risk. So it's not only the Britannia P&I club which is insuring this vessel will pay all these hundreds of millions of dollars in potential liabilities, because the liability will come in form of the bridge has to be rebuilt, the people who have died or are injured have to be compensated. Now the port has closed, the port authority will have a claim for loss of business. The vessels which are a few vessels which are inside the port will remain inside, the vessels which are outside will remain outside. So these are all the impacts of different stakeholders are affected differently. So I think the lawyers in Baltimore will be, very happy, and trying to find a way to sue different, people who are involved in this incident. So it's going to be a long drawn legal process, and I think the damages are going to be quite huge.
Sir, I, sir, I understand. Money is one thing. Our heart goes out to those people who lost their lives. But at the under end, the seafarers on board ship, they did a fantastic job. Fine, the blackout happened. But telling the people out there so that the bridge was closed on time, so that their lives were saved. And only those people who were working on board bridge, they could not be saved. So for crew members, I just saw a very racist message which can be displayed on the screen, which was very bad. Today, Indian seafarers are doing great for the society, and this kind of message is a very disturbing and alarming message. So, what is your take on that? Like, we seafarers miss such kind of incidents. No matter how good you are, it is probably one in a million case happening at the wrong time. But such kind of racist comments are not appreciated. But what is your? I hope that same thing which happened in Korea is not repeated again, and seafarers are just respected with dignity.
Basically, this is the risk which is associated with the job. So this is we are like same like pilots, like pilot Sully Schulenberger. When he landed his plane, he lost his engines because of bird strike, and he landed his plane on the Hudson River, and everybody was saved. So he was celebrated as a hero, even though his engine failed, and then he landed the ship, his plane on the Hudson River, and saving lives of all the people on board. So in this case, also, I think the captain and the crew did a tremendous job by issuing a mayday call as soon as they saw that the engines have failed. And this helped the people stop the traffic from both sides coming onto the bridge. So as you can see, that there was not even a single car or truck which fell into the river or which led to loss of life of anybody driving over the bridge. So these were just like maintenance workers who were filling the potholes on the bridge, and they were resting in their cars at that time, and they could not be informed in time because nobody could go and tell them to move on. So only unfortunately they lost their lives, but I think the crew did a great job by informing everybody in time, issuing a mayday call, and even President Biden appreciated their professional way of work.
I just hope that seafarers come out safe, sound, with dignity, and I just hope that with this incident happening, like you said, DP vessels have got a very strong redundant measure so that the blackout does not happen or the steering stays. Let's hope for the best. Any other views about the incident or anything you want to share which we might miss in the question, sir? Please.
Like I think that the vessels are becoming large and large. You can see some incidents like Ever Given blocking the Suez Canal for 5 days. Blocking 12% of the world's trade passing through the Suez Canal. We had this sister ship which went aground in the same port. So I think that the size of the vessels is so huge that the existing infrastructure is not able to cope with it. We have to improve the safety systems, and as I told you about the fenders beside the buoy, to handle such large vessels. I mean, if I tell you now that the Titanic will look like a small boat compared to the monstrous vessels which we have now. So I think the ports, the canals, the bridges, they have to have safety measures to prevent any such incidents happening in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for the insight, sir. Thanks a lot. Just one point across. This channel, Merchant Navy Decoded, for the first time has tried this thing. I am not a qualified guy. I'm just trying to make this video with the legitimate questions that I can ask. This video might not look as good as it should be. You can please share your comments in the video below so that next time when I make videos, I can make in a better way with the right questions. But I still thank Captain Shyam Paliwal for being proactive and sharing his views with a amateur like me and giving his great insights. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pranit. Thank you.